Okay, we're back on. I don't know what happened. It wasn't 1 hour yet, and anyway. Hello. We're so sorry. I don't know what happened. Internet connection. I really just don't know what happened. Hello, welcome back. Well, hi Leon, how are you? Hi January 7th clothing. Hi Olohi, welcome back. So let's hope Esther comes back on. Hi. Hi everyone, welcome back. So we were having the conversation with Esther. Esther was telling us her story as a warrior mom, a warrior mom, autism warrior mom, a super mom indeed that she is, and then network decided to mess themselves up and not me. Hello everyone. Hi Funmi. Hi IB Gifted. Hi Sarah. Hello darling. How are you? Hi Annie. Hi everyone coming back on. Thank you for coming back on. Hi Nathan. Hello. I don't want to murder your name. Hi. Thank you for joining Momversations. Hi. Thank you for joining. I hope Esther would come back on. Esther, please try and log. Hi, IB Gifted. Okay. Esther, are you IB Gifted as well? Hi, Fane. Let me try and. We need part 2. I agree. Oh, Binna, how are you? Okay, so good. Hi, Oge. Hi, let's hope Esther comes back on, really. And we truly need part 2. You are strong. Yes, Annie Hope, you truly are a strong mother. You are okay. Hi, Paul. Let me invite you on. Okay, good. Hi, IB Gifted. No, you're not Esther. That's fine. For all those warrior moms, autism warrior moms, I salute you all. You guys are awesome. Esther, your husband said marriage is fine. I am doing well. I am managing. So we want to salute all the
I don't
husbands
know
as
what's
well. We
happening
want to
now.
salute every parent, husband, wife, siblings, everyone, every family member. Hello, Mr. Paul. Hi.
Paul is here. I don't
Esther,
know.
you will have to
I
do
don't
a
know what's
part
happening.
2. You will have to do it. There's no how you won't come back. You have to come back at some point. We have to do a part 2.
No
Everyone is
problem.
requesting for part 2. Okay, so
No
I was
problem.
asking you, how was the impact? We have another 1 hour, so it's very good since Instagram knocked us off, and we have another 1 hour to go. So if you're okay with it, it's a journey. God
Yeah.
alone gives us the grace to pull through. I know. So
Yeah.
there's a mom here who says she has 2 autism children, 2 children with autism. So the Lord continue to sustain you guys. I salute you all. You guys are truly super moms. So Esther, we were saying
Yes.
the
Impact
impact
of
of the family.
autism.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the family. Yeah. So definitely, like I said earlier.
I can see Ziza's work behind you. Can you please move a little
Yes.
bit? Can you guys see Ziza's work? Can you see that awesome artwork over there? That is Ziza's work. You people need to go on his page. Go on his page. His mom, his dad, and a few of our Ziza's fans. They've been typing, the handle. Please go on their handle and check them out. All right, so continue.
Yeah.
Hi, Baking Nanny. Hi,
Um.
Photolimi. Oh, nice. Sorry, my darling. Sorry, no vex, I beg.
No.
Yeah,
No. No. No.
continue.
No. So, of course, I had. By the time I had Ziza, I said, I already had my daughter. So at that point, I didn't even have time for her. Really, I didn't have time for her. All my energy was just on all you know, any resources, anything I had just went to Ziza. Financially, every way you can think of. So I remember that my mom had to actually, because Zara is just like a year older, so she was pretty much young then, and she needed her mom. But again, it's I wasn't available because at that point, I lived, I breathed everything autism. Like if I wasn't doing research, I was running for therapy, or really at that point, there was no time to give you stories about how I really got into it. The few people who helped me in the early stages, right, didn't even know about autism, but because I always spoke about it, I didn't hide anything from anybody. So I could receive a call on a particular day and say, oh, there's a seminar going on about, I don't care if it was Down syndrome or anything, even not related to autism. I went there so that maybe I could meet a speech therapist. So I had no time for my husband. I had no time for my daughter at that point, you know. So she of course spent more time with her dad, and it almost felt like there was no mom, you know. I had to consciously give her a little bit of my time, so that affected her, you know. And then as a sibling on her own part as well, he wasn't, because one of the signs of autism is you know, social interaction. They don't have that, no social awareness, so he liked to be left alone. He didn't want to, you know, mingle with any other children. So she had a brother, but she couldn't play with him. She couldn't have conversations with him. She was just like an only child, you know. And then let me not talk about the financial strain as well. We're talking about having a 2-income home, now having a 1-income home,
One
you
income
know.
home.
And
Yeah.
it is such an expensive thing to do, autism, because you have therapies to do depending on what your child, you know, the behaviors or how it is with your child. You may be needing speech therapy, and that's a separate therapist. You may be needing occupational therapy, and then you have to pay separately. Then you have to pay school fees, and then the schools are charging you extra for having your child in school, and then everything they're telling you to pay per hour. Then when we did diet, we found out that he had to eat gluten-free food. We didn't know anything about gluten-free food in Nigeria, so we're pretty much bringing in food from outside, you know. Then if I was traveling, I had to bring 2 boxes of food, you know, and they're so expensive. You want to buy supplements, you know, if what do you call it, cod liver oil is like 5,000 here. For autism children is like 20,000. So like the
Wow.
financial strain is a lot, you know.
Wow.
And we had to train Zara in Atlanta on how to even you know, manage her brother, because at some point he was very angry and he would just attack, you know. He would pull at his nanny's hair, attack me, scratch my face, fight his dad, and then Zara would like to play, and then he would, you know, attack her. So we were just frustrated, and we didn't know what to do about that. But then when we got to Atlanta, we had to put her in like a sibling class. So she got, you know, the therapy as well. And then she was taught about autism, how to manage her sibling, how to
Sorry,
relate with him.
sorry,
That
my
helped.
darling. Sorry to cut you short. I liked
Yeah,
what you just said now. So Zara had to get therapy, sibling
yeah,
therapy. So for
yeah.
mothers who maybe have children, you know, I mean siblings of autistic children, you know, so they also need their own form of therapy. So for those who I mean, that's great information back that you just gave us right now. Okay, continue, please.
Yeah, and also the you know, your response to your other children. You have other for those who have other children, your response to their needs, you know, that pretty much goes away, and we take that for granted. You have
Yeah.
some who are older. Maybe when they're younger, you could get away with that, but as she grew older, I had times when we actually had conversations, and she would sit me down and say, "Mommy, please, can I speak with you?" I'm like, "What's the problem?" And she goes, "I just feel like I'm not loved in this house.
Wow.
Nobody loves me, you know. Daddy doesn't have my time, like I don't get any attention, and
Oh,
every time I come to you, you are busy, and it's all about Ziza. It's all about Ziza." And at that point, you know, it just helps you to sit back and actually think about how you want to do things. And so we had to make a conscious effort to give her her time, our time, you know, and then resources, because every time we say, okay, we want to travel or something. You're on holiday and you want to travel or you want to do something, and we just say, no, we need that money for therapy, let's just leave it. And we didn't realize that it was also affecting her as well, you know.
yeah.
Even I know, you know, even for Ziza, for the child with autism as well, you keep talking to a child who has autism, relating to a child who has autism, you are pouring all that love and you don't get any response back. It's a lot, really,
I
because you don't
know.
even know what he's thinking. He doesn't you feel like he doesn't really realize the amount of effort that you put into just making sure that he's okay every single day. You don't get any of that. At the end of the day, you just have, for me, there are some children who are verbal, right? Ziza was non-verbal. He didn't say a word until he was about 6 years old. 6 plus. So we just got tears. You speak to him, you just have him look at you. You just say something, he just looked. But with therapy, I remember that he had to learn to now, get our attention, pull our hands, and show us what he wants and all that. So it's pretty much modifies the lifestyle of every member of
Every
that family.
family.
That's the truth. Yes, your relationship with your siblings suffers, extended family, friends, neighbors, everything. I'll go to a neighbor's house because some people don't understand. And then he throws a tantrum, or he's hyperactive, and he breaks something in the house, for instance. I have to apologize 100 times. And then you have neighbors who even say, I don't want, if you're coming, don't come with
Your child.
that particular child, because it's a problem. So like I told you earlier, you try to avoid all that. So you place yourself on a kind of like self-isolation. It's better for me not to even go anywhere, because I don't want to be explaining myself to everybody, and for me, for Ziza, you have times. Therapy continues. Therapy is every day. And for parents out there who have had a diagnosis, there's something that we do wrong as parents. We take them to school for them to have therapy, and then when they come back, we pretty much do nothing until the next day again when they're at school. But that's not how it's supposed to be. Your child is actually at home with you a lot, so therapy is actually supposed to continue
Continuous. So you're meant to
even when
follow
you
up.
are at home, right? So for me, so for me, I couldn't even leave Abuja, for instance, to go visit my mom. Before, like maybe at least once a month, we'll go to Kaduna, we'll visit my mom. It's just a 2-hour drive. I didn't see my mom for a long time, even till now. Because if even during the holidays, therapy continues. If I leave to travel to Kaduna or to go for somebody's wedding, and I have to pull Ziza out of his normal routine, then it means that something has to suffer, something has to give. And for me, weighing the two options, I'd rather stay put and have my child do his therapy for me. So that has kind of like altered our lives. Let me just put it that way.
I can only imagine. People are praying for you, Esther. People are saying God will continue to strengthen you. God will empower you. God will equip you. Not just only you and every other autism warrior mom out there, warrior parent, warrior sibling out there. The Lord will continue to, empower you guys and strengthen you guys. Now, you said something, that self-isolation, pretty much you had to, like, because the stress of, or the pain sometimes of having to take your child somewhere, and then the way they would treat him, because they had no understanding, so because of that, you just rather, let me stay in my own home. Now, this is Momversations, like I said, it's also to create awareness. So tell us, Esther. I was actually reading, I did some research, what you should not say to parents or to people who have children dealing with autism. No, yeah. We're going to be learning. It's a learning curve for every single one of us until, until I met you.
Yes.
I wasn't really sure how. I didn't know what to say to you. You remember, I was in shock when you told me. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know what to do. Even seeing the child, you understand? I didn't know how to, and so for some of us, it's because we really don't know what to do. We don't know what to say. We don't know how to react. So please, can you tell us?
Yes.
Yes. So can you just tell us,
I understand that. You have to understand as well that at the point when a parent gets a diagnosis or even knows that there's something wrong with their child, you don't want to know what space they're in, right? It's
Yeah.
some people you see are actually depressed. They suffer anxiety and all that. So they get, it's like walking on eggshells, right? They get touchy. Any small thing you said. So for me, from the onset, I felt like that. I was angry. I didn't
Nice
know why this was happening to me. Why
to
me?
you.
That kind of thing. And then when you find yourself around people, and then sometimes even something like what is wrong with him or something like that would just trigger me. But
Kind of
now,
question.
I mean,
Questions not to ask.
I've done, I've done a couple of years, and I've come to a place where I know that sometimes people say things from a place of
Out of
love,
ignorance.
right? They don't know what to say really. They are uncomfortable around you. They don't know how to act around you. They don't know the right things to say. But then they are so when in doubt, I tell people, don't even say anything at all. You
Yeah.
can just ask, how are you doing? How is your son? And that's okay.
Yeah.
We spoke
Yeah.
about something not autism related with you. We talked about grief with you and saying people don't know how to act around somebody who's
Yeah.
grieving, right? Who
Yeah.
has lost somebody, and they feel that
Yeah.
they have to say something and they feel that it's helping,
Yeah.
but it's not really.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you don't know what to say, it's better to just
Just
keep
be
quiet,
quiet.
because then
Yeah.
you probably say the wrong thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like one of the things I don't like to hear is oh, and he's so handsome. Like he doesn't look it. Autism doesn't have a look. Like what do you expect him to look like, really? So things like that. Oh, what do you call it? Have you? They'll say, oh, I have my cousin's auntie's friend or something like that. It's not autism. Oh, don't worry yourself. He will talk by 6. Like when he's 6, or he will get there when it's time. Are you an expert? Or you have people asking you, have you prayed? Like, can you pray more than the person that is that is going through the thing? So
Yeah.
there are so many things that people say, and I feel that the questions you should ask when you're around people like that is, how can I help? Are you okay?
How can I
And
help?
trust me,
Yes. Yeah.
a lot of times
Yes.
I just, let me even tell you, you can tell from me, just meeting me, the first time we met, like you said, before you knew it, I've spoken to you for 3 hours, right? We're
Yeah.
always looking for somebody to, to talk to. You have to just
Talk
let some
to.
things go. So just from you just saying, how are you doing and how has it been? Believe me, the person will just take a cue and release, just say anything that they want to say. There's no need to kind of like make them feel and even people around. I'm a worker in church, and I've heard a parent actually say, I don't want my child around these children. Like that's really, it's not good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, we can go or use words like the child is retarded, or don't give him anything different. When I say that my child is on a diet, some people say and he won't or I say he doesn't like to eat something, he wants something in particular. They say things like, don't just leave him hungry. When he's ready to eat, he will eat. Like, you don't
Oh,
understand anything about autism, so you really can't say anything about it,
anything. Yeah.
or telling people your village people are after you is a spiritual issue or something like that. So
Oh,
I mean, these are not things that mothers with children on the spectrum want
want
to
to
hear
hear.
at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us, Esther, you've been, I mean, it's a, honestly, I salute you. That's all I can just say. I really salute you. Well done.
Yeah.
How do you stay grounded in all of this? I mean, I'm sure there are times when you just feel like, what, like, okay, let me, I thought I read what the young lady sent to me, to you, right? Are you there?
Mhm.
Hello. She
Hello,
said
yeah, I can
something,
hear
and
you
that
now.
really struck me. She said something. She said, that there were times when they questioned God, and they were like, God, what's going on? And that is like a long, unending road. And she said something like, there's even no bus stop to even stop and take a breather to say, you know what? Let me even rest. this was, she was talking about her mom, and that had to sacrifice everything. She said her mom had to sacrifice her life, her job, her dignity, her dreams, her aspirations, and all. I want to ask you, Esther, how have you stayed grounded? I'm sure there were times you probably would have had like a meltdown. How do you pull through for other mothers, so that they can glean from
uh, I don't, yeah, I don't know if I have an answer for that, to tell you the
for
truth.
that? Yeah,
I'll just say to them, take it one day at a time.
at the time.
And a friend taught me that, really. She has two children on the spectrum, and when we met when I moved to Lagos, we met when I moved to Lagos. We would just share ideas, what to do with our children and all that. And what struck me was the fact that she was a working mom, and she had two.
Oh, wow.
And I have one. Yeah. So,
Wow.
and she just had this way of, not letting anything get to her. And she says, there's so much I can carry. There's nothing worry is going to do for me, really. So we start today in the morning. We watch how it goes today. Exactly. And we will take it like that. Tomorrow is another day. We will deal with the issues that come with it. And I mean, since then, that's what I do. I don't disturb myself. There's something I used to do. Like you mentioned, was I in denial or what? Like I said, I didn't have time to be in denial. And was I angry? I was angry. I was angry at God. I asked questions. I said, God, why me? Why? Everybody is there. Everybody has given birth. And then it's my turn now. And the story has entered. And I don't know. I got to a place where I felt like God was telling me, like, so if it's not you, so who should carry that kind of burden, really? As in, who should have it, But we cried. There were times when in the beginning, my husband and I, there was a day my husband actually locked himself inside the room and cried for hours. He prayed and then he cried for hours, asking God, why? But in all this, I will say to anybody, what we did was, there's time for everything. There was time for anger, there was time for questions, there was time for everything. At the end of it all, we just told ourselves the truth. Now we have our work cut out for us. And it's not to sit back and start complaining and doing all these things. We have to move. And everybody says, oh, we have to get to a certain point before the child becomes an adult and all that. So for me, it was like I was sprinting, right? Trying to run. And every time that it was Ziza's birthday, I became depressed again, because that meant that it was a time for me to, take stock and see, where are we? Like, what have we achieved? And sometimes I'm like, I don't think that a whole year has gone past and we haven't achieved anything. And then I just start the cycle all over again, But I've learned to, take things in stride and not worry myself too much about it. We do what we can, and that's what I'll tell anybody to do. Then I don't want to take away support. I've had lots of support. And what I'll say to mothers like me who are going through things is, what I did was try to get myself a support system, in that the people who were around me, I had to get them on the same page as me.
With you.
Yes, I did. I had to do that. So if you're arguing with me, I school you about autism. And I tell people, everybody that I meet, I give them Autism 101. At least before you leave me, you must know something. Even if it's just the definition of autism, you must learn something about autism. Because
autism.
if I have to, for me, I could send Ziza to come play in your house. And then he comes to your house, and then you give him something to eat, which he is not supposed to eat. You understand? So I knew that I had to do the work. I had to do the work. Even my mom, my siblings. And I told my siblings even then, like, if you're not going to help me, then don't be a problem for me. Or we won't even come to visit in your house. So when we come to your house, you know what Ziza, what we expect you to do for Ziza.
Yeah.
And they do that. when I have people around me, so I can actually say I'm going somewhere. I've gone to a point where I can even travel outside the country and leave Caesar
Excellent.
with somebody and trust that everything is okay. He's going to take his medication, his supplements. He's not going to eat anything that he's not supposed to, and things like that. So that's what we need to do. And truly, if there's anybody that is not going to help out, it's better to stay away from such people. That's what I did for myself, and I've been lucky. I said I must mention her. I mean, when I had Ziza, we got a nanny. And that nanny has been with us since then. Ziza is 11 years old, and she has been with me since he was a baby till today. Yes. So
Awesome.
I've had support,
Awesome.
I won't lie. And I must say, not because my
Awesome.
husband is watching in also, another problem that I know a lot of women have who talk to me is the fact that one parent is the one who's doing everything, because one other parent is just not bothered about it, and it's mostly the men. So from the onset, like my husband was all for it. Everything I say, we have to try this thing, or if the money is available, let's do this. We have to travel and go and do this. He was all for it, and he understands what's happening. He's not just a dad dropping money and then anything goes. He really knows what we are
Very
doing and what we
hands-on.
need to achieve, hands
Awesome.
on and all that. So it's really
Awesome.
been, I can sometimes I lock myself up in my room. I love to listen to music, and I just use my headphones and drown out any noise from the children or anything. Like when I've had enough schoolwork, I'm trying to teach something, or he has thrown a tantrum and we finish struggling about something, or I'm just not happy with the reports I'm getting from school or something. I just find somewhere to just have my own me time, read something on the internet, read a book or listen to music, and just, I'm not somebody who goes out a lot anyway. So um I once I just have a few hours to myself, I'm okay.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Esther, you have a lot to do. You know you have your work cut out for you. So you know that
It's true.
this was our way of bringing you out. So for those who don't
Yes.
know, we need Esther to come out. We need the likes of more of Esther's, to come out and share their story, to encourage other parents of children with autism, and I'm glad that you've decided to do this. And yes, well done to your great support, well done to your wonderful husband. Not everybody has it this good, trust me. And I hope that you are doing the needful that you're supposed to be doing, Auntie Esther.
Yes,
Eh?
I'm
Eh,
trying. I'm trying. By the way, he was here when you talked about impact. He actually wrote on on a sheet of paper. I don't know if I should say it out. He said he has suffered to in certain areas, so I'm sure you know what he means by that. So
Well, we understand, but I mean,
yeah,
all in all, you guys
but
are doing awesome. You guys are
um,
doing good. So is there any last words for what would you? Oh yes, somebody said that one parent is really in denial. We know,
yeah.
but I mean, the advice is, and we pray, is that both will not be in denial, but they will come to terms with it and then walk through it, like Esther and Paul have done. Okay, yeah, somebody asked that they hope that you're taking care of yourself. Somebody's also
I'm
asking, is
trying.
there an online support group on Facebook and WhatsApp group? So
Yes, okay.
what kind of
I should
support
have.
group? I think
I
you
should
also
have.
want to come up with, I mean, your Instagram handle, what you are doing is like a support group as well, right?
Yes. Well,
Autism
mine is
Chronicles.
one is so like I said, it's sharing Caesar stories, and the person who said, "Oh, I hope you're taking care of yourself as well." Hi, she's an awesome mom as well. She's doing great things on her Instagram page as well, trying to create
Okay.
awareness. Using her stories with her son and all that. So
Okay.
but the support is actually there for parents who it's not something for you to go through alone, really. You can't do that. You can't afford to do that. And besides, especially in Nigeria, where we don't have the resources, we don't have a system, and we're not doing what we should do with our children. Everything that we're doing now, we're just making use of anything that is available to us. It's what we can get, really. We don't have the right tools, we don't have the right support and all that. So what I would advise anybody to do was, I met several ladies you know, through talking, meeting people. When you talk, you meet people. I speak up, and then somebody says, oh, I will, you know, I have a friend, can I introduce you to her and all that? And I've met so many wonderful moms that way. And
Yes.
I'm in several WhatsApp groups. When I say, you wake up sometimes and you are like, oh, my child did this, or my child, you know, has this issue, and you'll be surprised how much mothers, you
Responses.
know. Yes, they respond, and then they tell you what to do, or at least what I did with my son. This is what worked for me. And there are so many mothers, great mothers, doing great things out there. Some have gone, like I said, it's I mean, you're commending me and saying, oh, you are doing well. I wish you'd meet my group of warrior moms. So, I mean, this WhatsApp group is called Warrior Moms, and we have over 500 mothers on there, and in about 9
Nigerians?
different countries. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
And other
Wow.
countries as well, US, Canada, whatever, you know, wherever. And, you know, we support each other. We hold each other up. Sometimes somebody is depressed, and you know, the kind of stories you see on such platforms, it just it just has to touch your heart. And that's why I agreed to do this, because I mean, we have to tell our stories. I'm talking right now. There are so many mothers who don't feel comfortable just talking about the fact that their
About
child
it.
has autism,
Yes.
you know. And there are some
Yes.
who don't have the support that I have. I mean, I've heard people complain about, my mom is just my problem right now, because all she does everything I do, she just counteracts everything I do, and then all she's interested in is going from one prophet to the other. So, you know, it really matters that you have support, and you have, at least what we try to do is say, have at least 3 people who can, you know, lift you up. Who, if you don't hear from so person in 3 days, pick up your phone and call the person and
All the
say, I
person.
hope you are okay. Yes, I mean, what's happening and all that, because it gets too much sometimes. For me, like I said, we don't have time. There are children, the signs and the symptoms of autism, I don't have enough time. So you see Ziza, like I said, for it's different. There are children who poo and then who smear all over the wall. You come back from work and then you see that your child has pooed, and then he's played with it and it's all over the wall. You have to start washing. There are children who have self-injurious behaviors. Your child is banging his head on the wall. And these are all things that come with autism. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's not something that we can finish talking about right now. I said, Ziza, you know, when my
So
son
you might need to
wandered
you might
away.
need to have a conference, Esther.
Yeah,
You know,
you know, when my son wandered away and we looked for him for about 3 hours, and found out that he jumped into the ocean.
I wasn't
Like,
going to
I
come up.
can
I wasn't
go.
going to tell that story. I wasn't sure if you wanted that story. You know,
No,
do you want to share
it's
that story
fine.
with In fact, that was such.
It's
In fact, that
fine.
day, I won't lie to you. I've never prayed so hard in my entire life, because you know, it was shared on the WhatsApp group, and I was like, "What?" You know. But anyway, you
Yes.
know, want to focus on the positive. So, can you tell us about Ziza's what's going on with your network? Okay, good. Ziza's
Yes. No, I'm
his
on.
gifts.
Yes. So, yeah, so I don't want us to, sometimes when I talk to people now, maybe because of my experience, I don't know, with all the years I've put in and all that,
Hi,
I just tell them, you know
OTAK.
what, when I talk about autism, I don't talk about it from a negative perspective, you know.
Perspective.
I feel, like I said, I don't, it's not a disease. People look at it as if, and that's the thing, when you have a shift, right, you see things from the other
Different
direction, like,
perspective.
you know. Yeah, so from the other perspective, exactly, you know, then you have a mind shift, and then even
Yeah.
the way you react to
You
it now,
react.
it changes. Yeah. So now I just look at my son, like, this brain, which is what, how many billion people in the world have, because we think alike. I mean, scientists are talking about neurodiversity now, in the way that there are people whose brain works differently, and we have to recognize that fact, that there's nothing really wrong with them. They're not sick, they don't have a disease, there's nothing. You know, they're just different in the way they do their things, in the way they
Think.
think, the way they learn, right? So, and I've seen it with Ziza. You just try to understand their world. You have to go in and understand the person, and then you'll be shocked what you actually learn. So with that, I would never have known that my son had wonderful gifts. I mean, Caesar plays the piano by ear. You know, he just goes to a keyboard and he pretty much plays any sound. So if you sing, I can just hum a song right now, put him in front of a piano and ask him to play that song, and he will get it. You know, and then we're talking about his art. He, like you said, he has a photographic memory. Everything he sees, he's able to just put on paper and just draw it out for us.
Downloads it
So,
one time.
I mean, what's not to love about that?
Seriously. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
So,
I'm telling you.
My son is doing awesome things, and I say he's awesome. You know, he's just wired differently. And I just want somebody out there to know. Like, there's one thing, and somebody said something to me that actually changed the way my thinking. And she's a friend, Daisy. She actually runs the center, and she's a person who started the Warrior Moms group as well. She's so resourceful, and she's doing a lot of great things for moms and helping them and all that. And we had this conversation. I said the one area that has really, given me a lot of worry, has kept me up at night, thinking and just wondering, is the fact that my child at 11 still doesn't communicate. We can't have a conversation the way you and I are talking right now. And we've done all sorts of therapies. It has helped him in other areas, behavior-wise and all. Why am I not getting speech? Why am I not getting speech? And she asked me a question. And she said, have you ever considered that Caesar may never speak at all? He may never develop language. And if he doesn't, then what do you do about that? So instead of focusing on, oh, my son doesn't speak, she told me to go and do some research. And I went on the internet and I found a girl with autism that is 9 years old. And she's an author. She's authored like 5
Wow.
She doesn't speak. She doesn't say anything, but she can type on the computer.
She can type. Oh, wow.
She can pretty much communicate with you on the computer. So I think we need to look beyond what the norm is, really, with our children. They're special.
You know what you said? We need to look beyond what they can't do and focus on what they can do.
On what they can do. Exactly.
Let them own that skill.
That's what gave me, freedom. I'm not so much, not that I don't worry, but I don't what I worry about is
say you are sitting on a gold mine. You have zero clue. Somebody asks, is he the one that did the drawing behind you? Yes. Do you have more?
Yes, he did.
That's what Caesar has done. You need to go to his.
For those of you with small children, so if you have, that's Hey on my wall, and it's a painting, is a watercolor painting of Hey. He's the chicken in Moana, Disney's Moana, and you can see that my son has pretty much put everything on canvas. I mean, what we're doing now is focusing on his strength. What can he do? And I know that in future, that's what I see him doing. He's going to be an artist. He's going to be a musician. You should see him mixing on the keyboard.
Absolutely.
He is a Don, well, maybe, I don't know if Don Jazzy or is a Puff Daddy, whatever.
Yeah, he's a Don Jazzy.
He can mix some beats, some mean beats. Yes. So, I mean, just for parents, just watch your child, learn to understand your child, know what their strengths are, and you'll be surprised what your strength is. Yes. So that's what we're doing.
Esther, Ayaba, God bless you.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't think
so much.
No. I should be thanking you for being so open, coming to share your story. Yeah. So yes, AD, can you pronounce his page?
Is the eidetic boy. The word eidetic means somebody who has photographic brain,
photographic memory.
Yes,
excellent.
That's it.
So what I'll do is I'll tag his page when I post this video. The first one, unfortunately, that video is lost.
No problem. It's okay.
Yeah,
I'm just happy that the people that we have on here have at least learned one
they've
thing or two.
learned. I'm
And by
sure
the
they've
way,
all something.
it's not about. I tell people it's not about being a parent of a child with autism, right? It's so when you look at the statistics, that's what I'll leave you with, so that you take that with you and think about it. It's not Nigerian people will say, God forbid, it is not my portion. But the truth is that right now, statistics show that 1 in 59 children have autism.
Autism.
Yes. So when you look at numbers, you can actually see that whether you like it or not, you are going to have, if you don't have a child with autism, you are going to have a nephew or a niece with autism, a friend,
Hey.
a godchild with autism. You are going to know somebody. If you are a teacher, you may have a child in your class with autism. We can't run away from it, really. So it's really for everybody to educate themselves. You know, if you have somebody around you, you can be a good friend. If you have somebody, you can be a good sister. You can be a good mom. You can be a good teacher. You can come in any capacity. You don't know. You don't know. I never knew I was going to have a child with autism. So I mean,
Can
when
I
we
quickly
gain
ask a
knowledge,
question?
yeah.
Is there
Yes,
any
woman.
school in Lagos today that
Yes,
focuses? I asked you if Ziza was in mainstream school. Said
yes,
that was in a school that it had mainstream, and they focused also on children with autism. Would you like to tell us
yes.
about maybe the name of the school for someone
Yeah,
here?
so there are many schools. Ziza currently goes to. I mean, this is like his since I moved to Lagos. This is like his third school or something. I don't know. I've been changing school, but I'm happy with this one. This one is
With
called
this one?
Pleasant Places School. It's just around Marwa Petrocam. It's not far from Petrocam, Elf bus stop, and they have a special needs center, and they have a mainstream school that the children can move on to when as they progress and they are doing better. You have the learning place. You have there's one Anto's house here around Agungi. There are so many, really. Just do your
Okay.
research,
The
ask
research.
questions, and you can go check it out yourself and then make a decision for what is pretty much the way you would look for a school for your neurotypical child.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are shopping for schools, you look around, you see
Yeah.
which one works for you, and then you go
Yeah.
for it. And we're glad, because a lot of people who have these schools are actually mothers. So, and that's why I said that it looks like the government has forgotten us, and we have to fight for our children.
Rise up and and and
We
and,
have to
and
rise up and do
get the
something for
help
our
ourselves
children.
and do it and create the solution ourselves.
Exactly. So even
Create the
for those
solution
of you
ourselves.
watching, even if you think that there's nothing I can do, somebody here may be commissioner of education, then I will now come and make
Absolutely.
sure that you change policy to include our children. We need
Someone
inclusion.
said you
So
should mention the name of the school of Jesus. I think it's Pleasant Places. It's called
Pleasant
Pleasant Places.
Places School. Yes, Pleasant Places
Pleasant
School.
Places. Somebody
Yes.
also
Yes.
asked, is there still admission to the Warrior Mom platform?
Oh yes, there is. There is.
Okay, so what's gonna happen, guys, is I will leave. Okay, good. Somebody has put it there. Somebody has said, "Oh, that is a place." Yes, yes, yes. So there's a place that your husband has watch the space. So there's a play center coming up. So Esther is working on a play center for children with autism. And I mean they will be well equipped to take care of children with autism. Esther, I want to say a huge thank you for coming on. God bless you. The Lord equip you. For people here, please, can you say a word of prayer? Can everybody type a word of prayer for Esther? A
Thank you
line
for
of prayer.
having
Everybody,
me.
a line of prayer for Esther and the whole family. One line of prayer, just one line. Everyone, please type a line of prayer. Esther, God bless you. Yes. Thank you for
Yeah.
coming.
God
Yes,
bless you for
yes,
me.
yes, yes. The Lord equip you. The Lord bless you. The Lord
Amen.
cause his face to shine upon you. The Lord sustain you, Esther, in the
Amen.
name of
Amen.
Jesus. So
Amen.
thank you so
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
much. God bless you. I'm going to drop Esther's handle. I will drop Ziza's handle as well so that, you know, you can, God continue to strengthen you. The Lord bless you. The Lord strengthen you. Exactly. The Lord strengthen
Amen.
you and your
Amen.
family. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. The
Yes.
Lord continue to sustain you. Amen. All your efforts will be crowned
Amen.
with success. Amen. God bless you. Yes. You
Amen.
have encouraged us. You see, so you've encouraged people. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Thank you all. I will drop her handle. I will drop everything you need, all the information you need. Mommy Clinic, thank you so much. Thank you. Keep living the purposeful life.
Hi,
Exactly. Former culture.
Tessie. Hi,
I am Steve
Falache.
Harris. You
I'm
you
seeing.
stay till the end. Thank you. May God crown all your efforts with great victory. Esther, I
Amen.
hope you're receiving all the
Amen.
amens.
I'm receiving it.
Yes.
I'm receiving it.
Amen.
Deep in my
Amen.
spirit.
God will continue to
Amen.
encourage you and Daddy living up.
Hi,
Yes, your name.
Bishop
You're living up to your
Anemi.
name, Esther.
Thank
Isn't she
you.
beautiful? Isn't she
Thank
such a
you.
gorgeous, gorgeous black beauty? Thank you all so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you all
all.
so much. So I'm gonna
Thank
end
you.
the conversation, guys. God bless you. I really appreciate you
God
guys.
bless
We
you
love
for
you
me.
all
Thank
and
you so much.
conversations. The Chief Nanny loves you. Foba culture. Thank you. Thank you for, you know, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you. Esther, we'll just later,
Yes.
I owe you a
All right.
barbecue.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
Black
Thank
Beauty.
you.
Yes, she is a Black
Yeah.
Beauty. Bye, guys. God bless
Bye.
you.
Yeah.